Did you know that Napoleon stole Italian art? Don't believe me? Well, he took industrial quantities of Italian art back to Paris. We're going to get into what specifically did the French take? Did they subsequently give it back? And furthermore, does this mean that the Mona Lisa was stolen? I'm going to get to that.
In 1796, 67 Italian and Flemish artworks were transferred to France by treaty. Turin had politely allowed itself to become a French territory, and consequently fewer works were taken from the Kingdom of Sardinia. Modena. Napoleon signed a treaty with the Duke of Modena in 1796, demanding 20 paintings from the Este collection. This was considered one of the finest in Italy. Actually, the French took nearer 70 paintings, of which around 20 were subsequently returned. Napoleon entered Modena with Antoine Christophe Salicetti and removed over 1,000 items, manuscripts, antique books, crystal glasses. Most of these items still remain in the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris. In 1796, Ferdinand I, Duke of Parma, Piacenza and Guastalla, was forced to sell 16 specific paintings to the French as part of an armistice. More items were taken from the Ducal Archaeological Museum of Parma, such as Tabula Alimentaria Traianea, were later returned. The Duomo di Piacenza was instructed to send 2 paintings to the Louvre, including The Funeral of the Virgin by Ludovico Carracci, and this was returned in 1816. The Jewel of Vicenza, a wooden model of Vicenza coated in silver, was stolen in 1797 and melted down. The Gonzaga family in Adoration of the Holy Trinity by Peter Paul Rubens in Mantua was cut apart by French soldiers. Some of it still remains in France, while the damaged central piece was later returned to Mantua. After the fall of the Venetian Republic, Gaspard Monge, Claude-Louis Berthollet, Jean-Simon Barthélemy, and Jacques-Pierre Tinet hunted for Venetian artworks. The French had reacted to fierce Venetian resistance with extremely heavy reprisals and confiscations. Gold and silver works from the Zecca of Venice, the Mint of the Republic of Venice, as well as the Basilica di San Marco, were melted down and sent to France. In 1798, the Bucintoro, the Venetian state barge, was dismantled, and on the orders of Napoleon, was burnt on the island of San Giorgio Maggiore to extract the gold leaf. Much of the contents of the arsenal of Venice was sent to the Musée de l'Armée in France, while a number of other items were melted down. The Wedding at Cana by Paolo Veronese was cut in two and sent to the Louvre, where it remains. It has been restored with mixed success and is claimed to be too fragile to be returned. In 1797, the French removed the Lion of St. Mark and the famous bronze Horses of St. Mark to Paris. Both were returned in 1815 to 1816, but the Lion of Mark had been damaged during transfer. The San Zeno altarpiece by Andrea Mantegna was cut apart and sent to the Louvre, with parts returned to Verona in 1815. As religious orders were abolished, huge numbers of works of art were either sold or disappeared. Rome and the Papal States. Pope Pius VI had previously condemned the French Revolution as contrary to the Catholic Church. He tried to delay the shipments of art to France. The Papal States bribed the French forces with 500 manuscripts and 100 artworks to prevent them from occupying Rome. At the same time, however, Roman rioters attacked French commissioners. Relations degenerated, causing the Pope to declare a treaty null and void. However, once the papal armies had been defeated on the battlefield, the French imposed punitive conditions on parts of the Papal States, including Ravenna, Rimini, Pesaro, Ancona, and Perugia. French General Mathurin Leonard Dufault was killed by troops of the Papal States outside the French embassy in Rome. The French army used Dufault's death as a justification to occupy Rome. They demanded the Pope resign his authority, proceeded to exile Pope Pius VI, where he soon died in France. During the short-lived Roman Republic, a pro-French administration, the public was assured that artwork wouldn't be taken, but in all reality, the looting had already begun, including that of the private library of Pope Pius VI. The Vatican Library, the libraries of Bologna, Monza, Pavia, and Brera were looted. Vatican medals were fused together for ease of transportation. Raphael's Madonna of Foligno was sent to France, transferred to canvas, but later returned. For all their anti-French campaigning, Cardinals Giuseppe Albani and Romualdo Braschi Onesti had their collections seized and, albeit, reimbursed. 280 crates were sent from Villa Albani and Palazzo Braschi. Giuseppe Albani later reclaimed his property. Prince Camillo Borghese, one of the richest Roman princes of his era, was married to Napoleon's daughter. He was heavily taxed by the French and sold his art collection to Napoleon, where it remains on display in the Louvre in Paris. Interestingly, his family were allegedly involved in the murder of General Dufault. As Florence was occupied by the Napoleonic armies in 1799, John Baptiste Wicquart decided which paintings from the Palazzo Pitti, a residence of the ruling families of the Grand Duchy of Tuscany, were sent to Paris. 63 paintings and 25 pieces of polished coloured stones were taken. Our friend Vivant Denon, director of the Louvre, reviewed the contents of the convent of St. Catherine, Santa Maria Maddalena dei Pazzi, Santo Spirito, and the Accademia di Belle Arti di Firenze, to send works to the Louvre, including Fra Filippo Lippi's Barbadori altarpiece, Cimabue's Maesta, neither of which were returned, and Michelangelo's unfinished sculptures for the tomb of Pope Julius II, and these remained split between Rome and Paris. Vivant Denon continued to loot the Grand Duchy of Tuscany long after it was annexed by the French Empire, appropriating artworks from across Massa, Carrara, Pisa, and Volterra. In 1803, the Venus de' Medici sculpture was exported to France under orders of Napoleon, but returned in 1815. Naples, Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. Anticipating the French invasion, King Ferdinand I of the Two Sicilies fled to Palermo on board Nelson's ship Vanguard, taking 14 masterpieces with him. After the violent occupation of Naples, Repubblica Napoletana, in 1799, General Jean-Étienne Championnet quickly began looting artwork, paintings, sculpture, books, and gold for dispatch to Paris. He was pretty unpopular with the locals, as he was also very reluctant to control the conduct of his extremely violent troops amongst the civilian population. The French soldiers of Championnet proceeded to plunder local collections like the Galleria di Capodimonte, an art museum, and the Palace of Capodimonte, the summer residence of the Bourbon kings of the Two Sicilies. The victory celebrations of Paris in 1798. Paris hosted wild celebrations of the French military victories as yet another convoy carrying artworks from Italy arrived in Paris. A long-planned triumphal parade ensued, containing the horses of St. Mark from Venice, the Apollo Belvedere sculpture from the Vatican, which was later returned, the Venus de' Medici sculpture from Florence, which was later returned, the ancient Greek sculpture Discobolus, the Laocoon group later returned, and 60 other works including Raphael, antiques, Vatican manuscripts, and the Black Madonna of Basilica della Santa Casa, and this was also later returned. The Catalogue of Canova. Papal diplomat and prominent Italian artist Antonio Canova, who's associated with the sculpture The Three Graces, itemised the number of Italian paintings that were sent to France. According to his records, 506 pieces were seized, 249 returned, 248 remained in France, and 9 pieces were lost. After the defeat of Napoleon, the Congress of Vienna in 1815, organised by Austria, Spain, the German states, and Great Britain, tried to restore the looted property. While many works were returned, the French administration absolutely resisted numerous claims for various reasons: the high cost of transportation, the risk of damage. Repatriation work was long, slow, and frustrating, causing half of the looted works of art to remain in France. The elapsed time is now being used as a further justification against restitution. And before you ask, King Francis I of France bought the Mona Lisa painting, and it is now the property of the French Republic and on display at the Louvre in Paris. To this day there are ongoing requests for Italian art to be returned.
Click here to get even closer to Italy and Sicily.